Okay, so we talked about, the Trump coalition kind of falling apart, and about how young men seem to be getting scooped up in this Nick Fuentes thing. Um, I mentioned that it just doesn't seem real. I was like, I don't know. He's probably a plant. Like, he seems like a plant of somebody, or like a foreign government deal. Even if he doesn't know it, it seems like maybe there's something amplifying, because I don't know. He's been around for a while, but like just to suddenly like pop on the thing where I was like, hey, look how influential he is, and you go, yeah, I don't know anyone that listens to him. It's like everyone listens to him, but nobody does. So this dude Colin Wright put out some stuff. I guess we'll take a looky at it. And so he has a report from NCRIO. Wait, what is that? That's not like the Network Contagion Research Institute.
Oh, God.
That's unfortunate. Are you aware of these guys?
No,
They
seems made up.
Well, they are. I think they're heavily funded from one of your favorite countries out there.
Oh,
Yeah, I think they're kind
surprise, surprise.
I think it's kind of like the Anti-Defamation League, where it's like looking for, I think, contagion. The contagion might be anti-Semitism or something like that. All right. Well, regardless, according to them, his rise was driven by synchronized amplification networks, anonymous booster accounts, foreign engagement farms, and a media ecosystem that mistook manufactured noise for genuine political momentum. So yeah, this is retweets within different time windows, right? And so Nick's numbers are in red, right? And it's comparing to Destiny, wildly popular, Ian Carroll, wildly popular, Elon Musk, hugely popular, right? And if you look within a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, on all markers, Fuentes gets more retweets in this time period. But like by all of the other people put together, more than that. Maybe over here on the 30-minute window, it's equal to everyone else put together. But, Elon Musk has 220 times the number of followers, and he's very popular. He's a very famous guy. And it's like, well, that's interesting. Fuentes has this like crazy real-time engagement. And then you got this one. So mean retweets per million followers within the same time window. So same thing. If you normalize it, like for every million, it's even crazier. You go like, all right, so let's look kind of more apples to apples. And then you go, oh, so Nick Fuentes is like within 30 minutes, he has 506 per million. Where's old Elon? Elon has 1.8. Who's this one? I don't know who Hassan Piker is. But Ian Carroll, he's down at 20. Destiny is down at 32. Once again, Nick Fuentes 506. And everything's like that. There's Elon doesn't show up on any of this. I guess he's just got so much quantity that okay, well, whatever. But anyway, one of these things is not like the other. Fuentes is smoking everybody by hundreds of times, right? So he's got a coordinated booster network. 61% of early retweets come from accounts that repeatedly amplify multiple Fuentes posts within the same 30-minute window. 92% are anonymous. Many openly identify as groupers or signal boosters. Their feeds exist almost solely to promote them. So these people, some of them could be super fanboys. Some of them could be super fanboys that have a couple accounts and like are looking to boost them. Some could be friends of his, which are essentially the same thing, fanboys there to promote. So some of them can be actual affiliated fans or what have you. But the quantity is pretty crazy. Foreign engagement. This is when it starts to get squirrely. Nearly half of the retweets on his most viral posts come from accounts clustered in places like India, Pakistan, Nigeria, Malaysia, and Indonesia, all of which are hubs for low-cost engagement farming. So if you were to go let's see what this one is. Yeah, so we got 92% anonymous, 54% say they're groupers, which is his little term for fans. And so here's the domestic versus non-domestic. 3 top tweets before and after Kirk's death. That's very specific. So before, looks like about 50-50 domestic and non-domestic, which was about 17,500 each. After it, you got domestic accounting for 62.5. What is it? So non-domestic is 37.5%. That doesn't seem to be proving what he's looking to prove. But I don't know, top 3 tweets before and after. All right, whatever. That's a weird scale. But so I guess as he was building, I guess is what they're saying, as he was building his network up into the Charlie Kirk time, half of his traffic was international traffic. Most of it from being like, if you go on Fiverr or any of these websites, you can buy followers. Like we could have a bunch of followers. Problem is, if you go to if you get a Pakistani dude, right, and it's one of the low cost ones, he goes, "What do you want? You want 5,000 followers? I can get you 5,000 followers." You go, "Cool." But the problem is they're all Pakistani dudes. So suddenly you go you look at the fans, it's like, oh, no, you're like American people, and it's like, huh, I guess this account's huge in Pakistan, which if you're a domestic company that doesn't sell international or something like that, or an American personality, it's not great if someone goes, none of these people speak English, and yet they like you and follow you. That makes sense. But all these, not to give the secrets up, but yeah, go to Fiverr.com. You can buy it. I've seen people do it. It works, but you get an army of Indonesians and stuff. All right. He actively directs manipulation. Okay, whatever. That's he basically, when he does live streams or whatever, he'll be tweeting during it. He'll go, "All right, I'm about to tweet. Everybody retweet this." And I guess that's technically against some terms of service, but who cares? I everything I tweet, everyone should retweet it all the time. All the things right now. Everyone listening, go retweet all of my tweets. I don't think anybody's going to do that.
Especially the Pakistani accounts.
Especially my Pakistani accounts. Oh, man, that location services thing, that has been wonderful. That helped aid this thing. But, it's so fun because, you'll put something about the Federal Reserve and monetary policy, and they'll show this, hot chick in a bikini. It's Diana Flower Girl likes your post. And it's like, yeah, and you go let's see Diana Flower Girl. You click and it's just model all these posts isn't coffee wonderful in the morning? And it's some of them actually have gotten followers, which is always very disappointing. But it's nice being able to click on it and being like, Ghana, did not expect Ghana, But anyway. One of the big things, the media fell for it. The media, of course, the mainstream media, and even alternative media on this one, but the mainstream media, as we know, is stupid. And they do just whatever's easy. So between June and November, 15 major outlets published 149 stories mentioning Fuentes. After Charlie Kirk's assassination, this thing found 60% spike in high-status framing, i.e. reporters suddenly describing him as more influential and politically relevant. Mainstream media thought they were tracking organic sentiment on the right. In reality, it was reacting to manufactured noise. He's an extremist entertainer with a niche following. Whatever. Okay. So, this tells us a couple things. One, media's stupid. And they will do... There's a lot of, especially local news, but a lot of media, they need content, right? And if you can hand them a story, they go, thank God, don't have to think about this one. They'll just write it up. Press releases get turned into articles all the time. You see the AP, AP sends out a bunch of stuff, and other sites basically read this summary that the AP wrote and try to fluff it up, maybe get a quote or two from somebody. But it's basically, AP came up with an idea, and they go, okay, we'll turn that into an article. See if you can get Timmy Smith, who's cited in there. Let's try and get a quote and a picture. And they go, hey, look at that. We made news. But yeah, you can just a lot of them are happy to be, if they're not investigative journalists, and sometimes even then, but if they're not, I mean, a lot of them are just happy to be handed a story. And then possibly more predictable, what this tells us about the media is they're always looking for a way to disparage people who are not Democrats. In this case, it is people on the right, and MAGA and Republicans have started following this racist anti-Semite. Look how popular he is. This young man is what young MAGA is. It's all little Nazi boys, little gay Hispanic Nazi boys, allegedly. I don't know. Probably. Watch some of his videos with the sound off, and you go, all right. Mannerisms is what I'm saying, Charlie. Mannerisms. But anyway, they're always hungry for the story that is, especially Republicans, racist, right? Republicans, racist. Republicans, evil. And then, to a lesser extent, but still very true, they'll do it to libertarians. They did it to Gary Johnson. At first, they thought the Libertarian Party would peel more votes away from Donald Trump versus Hillary, and all of a sudden the numbers started coming in, and Gary was pulling lots of Democratic voters. So suddenly they're like, well, we have to end him. And that was like that Aleppo question that he screwed up. But, they're asking Hillary Clinton about hot sauce and purses and stuff. They go, what are we going to do about Aleppo? And instead of being like, what do you mean by that? Or in what regard? Or something like that, to be like, go into this more. Where, what exactly is the question? It's just like, Aleppo? They go, oh, you don't know Aleppo? You don't know? And so they just pounce on it. It's like, he can't be president. He doesn't even know, he doesn't know cities and capitals around the world. So, they did a hit job, which they love to do, because the mainstream corporate legacy media is part of the Democrat Party. I don't even think this is controversial to say at this point. Outside of Fox News, which is part of the Republican Party, though his children might want to change that. But anyway, as of now, probably for a while, it's the Republican Party. All the others are Democrat Party. And they hunger just to throw that narrative out. It's always out there. Anytime they can figure out a way to, quote unquote, prove it, they jump on that opportunity. In this case, they had the opportunity to say Republicans and everyone on the right is, loving Nazi stuff. And Tucker kind of doing what Tucker's been doing hasn't been necessarily helpful. So they jump on that, but also alternative media has become a cesspool of racism and anti-Semitism. So, you can take out the competition, as a whole, just labeling the more consumed content as being hate speech, and then go after the Republicans. And so they didn't look into it at all, of course, because it doesn't look like this was hard to find. It became easier once X put up all their stuff. But you could do some research other than, hey, this guy has a bone to pick with Turning Point or Charlie Kirk or something, so he sends his people to go jump them and try to get them to, say negative things about Israel. Which is pretty much what they do. And, they come with a lot of stats. There's the Israeli government, as we've discussed, has some things that one could be critical of.
No.
Controversial, I know. But ends up the government of this country not perfect. Not pure. Ends up the government of Israel only works for the benefit of the government of Israel. Yeah. You mean the nation of Israel? It works for the people of Israel. No. The government only works for its own benefit. That's how ends up that when you're critical of the American government and go, we've made these mistakes in the past. And some we've solved, some we haven't. Some we've apologized for, some we haven't. Ends up over there in Israel, similar thing. They've done bad things. And sometimes they lie to benefit whatever that they want.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. I mean, yes, they sometimes attack their allies or their allies' allies at very fragile times when we're trying not to have World War III pop off. Sometimes they do things like that. Sometimes they spy on us more than our enemies. And by sometimes, I mean in perpetuity. Always, all the time. Did you, what was that story?
Hey, guys.
That Israel gave, what was he, a dude at the FBI or something like that, a nice gift after the Cold War or something, and it was like an eagle statue or an eagle thing.
That sounds familiar.
And they didn't scan it for a while, or they did. Yeah, they didn't scan it, then it ended up being bugged. Was that Israel or was that? It had to have been Israel. I don't think it was Russia. Maybe it was Russia once we got friendly, but I feel like this was an Israel thing. And they had like a cool bug that didn't have a power source all the time, so the scanners they had at that time wouldn't hit them. They would blast a signal at the bug to get audio, and that signal also provided power for it. So if they were doing a sweep, which they could tell they were going to do, because people walk in and go, sir, we're about to do a sweep of your office. They go, bloop, put that down, and then, we're good. Just wait a few minutes, get a sandwich, act like you're looking for pipe bombs at the DNC, and just be leisurely and get back to it. Anyway, so I guess, when you're provided with quite a bit of factual data and some speculation that seems solid, you can make a good pitch as to how it wouldn't necessarily be in America's interest to keep funding all this Israel stuff, especially if you're trying to say you're like American first. And so, he loads his people up with good, I don't know, good, but lots of data. So they would show up at Turning Point USA, and the question would be, sometimes I'd say they went from being anti-Israel to anti-Jew. Probably often enough. And so, but anyway, but outside of going to those events, and even then, it's not like those events got much hype. Like Charlie Kirk puts his video clips out. He used to put his clips out. They go around, but you didn't hear anything about it. But the media didn't look into it at all. The media just said, this is good. Alternative media bad. Republican bad. Right wing bad. Article good. So anyway, I had a feeling that Fuentes was not this powerhouse. I'd barely heard of him, and before all this, and I knew he had a podcast. Comedian Dave Smith, who's kind of rose in popularity recently. He got a bunch of beef for doing an interview with him at some point, and because he said something about being a fellow traveler. I think he was saying it in regards to being a voice on the internet saying things that are outside the mainstream, not I don't know, and being being in opposition to a lot of Israeli actions and what's happening in Gaza. But there's lots of things where Fuentes is very, very, very big government and very, I guess, not libertarian and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, Dave Smith's also Jewish, by the way. So it's,
So not a time traveler, right?
He might be a time traveler. Why?
You said traveler, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes. Might get into that maybe later. Dun, dun, dun. Multidimensional. That would be funny if he was. That's what happened to baby Hitler. He traveled through time, and then he was raised by a Hispanic family. And so
This is the result.
yeah, we shall name him Nicholas Fuentes. Little baby Hitler, they're wiping all the smudge off the lip. How does this thing keep get here? All right. Anyway, so that's just a little bit of, Frank's always right. It isn't real. He'll probably, he's got some followers. He'll keep having followers. He's gotten a good boost from the media. We'll see how that goes, but